I just want to go home. I just want to be home. What do you do if you're security crying behind the car? Damn. I just want my blanket. You just want your blanket. You gotta get out of here. I didn't sing too much. This can't tell me nothing. That's why when be talking tough, I said, man, just save it. I didn't sing all that. Nigga said he want to just go home.
Oh, shit.
This blanket. You're like, what?
But he there for security.
I'm never gonna be in this position.
I just want to go home and
I just want to be under my blanket. Oh, we gotta get out of here. God, you get me out of here. I'm never fooling with these niggas.
The night Biggie was taken was supposed to be just another industry party. The Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles was packed with artists, executives, and celebrities. Tensions were high. Everyone knew this wasn't just another red carpet event. But what happened outside those museum doors would send shockwaves across hip-hop forever. Gene Deal, Diddy's bodyguard, was there in the SUV when the shots rang out. He says they never had a chance to respond. The driver had already sped off. Puff had reclined his seat so far back that Gene had to sit sideways. The second the first shot was fired, the car jolted forward, blowing through a red light. Gene says he was screaming at the driver to reverse, but by then, it was too late. Biggie was hit. What Gene didn't do that night, shoot back, is what Mase turned into a joke. But Gene says that's not just unfair, it's betrayal.
Trying to picture your facial reaction to I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
If my security holding me down in Cali, is somebody, the #1 rapper in the world, get killed, you're telling you, I just need to want to go home. And the second top artist in the world, which is Mase, about to be #1. That's what I'm saying. I wonder his face, because I'm like, if y'all let me do that to Big, I don't stand a chance.
According to Gene, Mase wasn't even at the party that night. He was supposedly holed up in a hotel room with singer Brandy, and Gene believes Mase knew something was about to go down. Why else wouldn't he show up? Gene claims that earlier that day, Mase and Stevie J were at a celebrity basketball game where they were approached by some heavy hitters, allegedly tied to the West Coast. These guys didn't mince words. Gene says they told Mase and Stevie, "We want Puff, and we want Big." Not something you brush off, not something you forget. And while Mase told Puff what he'd heard, he never said a word to Biggie. Think about that. Same label, same crew. Biggie was his brother in music. And yet, if Gene's story is true, Mase didn't warn him, didn't say a word. He just stayed away.
Because Mase want to laugh and lie about the situation, let's get into it, bro. I want to get into this. Prior to the Peterson Museum, Mase and Stevie J went to a celebrity basketball game. They let the dudes, I don't know if it was the dudes from the Dog Pound, it was the dudes that was Crips, they let Stevie J and Mase know, we want Puff and we want Big. Mase felt like he was safe, laying down there, throwing up West Coast signs with them. Mase came back from that game. He let me know and he let Puff know. He never mentioned a damn thing to Big. As his label mate, as a fellow New Yorker, he had an obligation to tell Big. And he know I came and got him. And Mase said, yo, Big G, why you here? Why you here? He said, Big G, I'm all right. I said, if you was all right, why am I here?
Later, Gene says Mase tried to flip the story, calling him up and asking why he didn't shoot. Gene wasn't having it. He flipped the question back. Why weren't you at the party? Mase fumbled the response, said he was with Brandy. Then said Brandy was the one calling him, telling him to come to the party. Gene caught the contradiction immediately. Wait, you were in the room with her, but she was calling you to come out. That don't add up. Gene was furious. To him, Mase had ducked out of a dangerous situation he saw coming. Then, years later, had the nerve to clown the one man who actually was there when it all went down. But Mase had his own version of the story. On a recent podcast, he revealed a chilling scene, being trapped in his hotel room while 70 gang members crowded the hallway outside. He says they were hunting for bad boy artists, and he was terrified. He never left his room. The implication? He didn't skip the party to hide. He was trying to survive. He was scared for his life. That paints a very different picture from the one Gene Deal is telling. But which version is true? What's certain is that Mase wasn't the only one acting recklessly that weekend.
If you want to say something, Mase, tell us why you didn't go. Mase, why you didn't go to the party? Mase, why you didn't go to the party?
Because I was in a hotel with Brandy.
Why you didn't go? Brandy told you told me that Brandy told you, let's go to the party. Why you didn't go to the party?
I didn't go to the party because all y'all seem like snakes. And I'm not going to
So Mase, who told you? Mase, didn't I tell you? Listen to him, Mase. Did I tell? Let's keep it 100. When you was riding around,
Let me answer.
Go ahead.
Let me answer the question. You guys was the security. If somebody shot the biggest rapper in the world, why y'all didn't shoot back? Y'all had guns?
Mase, let me ask you something. I'm gonna get to that. Mase, one question. When you was riding around Cali with Stevie J, didn't I pull you to the side and say, what the fuck is you doing in a drop top Benz riding around with Stevie J around Cali? Did I say that to you? Did I say that to you, Mase? That's some
So what happened the second Biggie was shot? Gene says the driver panicked and took off, fast. The moment the gunfire started, Puff ducked, Gene turned to open the door, and their car bolted forward. They had already crossed the light. They were gone before Gene could even get a visual on the shooter. How was I supposed to shoot back, he said. You want me to hang my arm out the window and start firing blind? More importantly, he says, Mase already knew that. They'd had conversations. Mase had been told the whole story. And yet, here he was on a podcast, laughing about Gene not firing a shot, turning trauma into comedy. But Gene's biggest frustration wasn't the laughter, it was the silence. He says Mase had one job that night, to warn Big. He warned Puff, he saw the threat, he had the info, and he said nothing. That's why Gene snapped. That's why he aired everything out. Because he's tired of the jokes, tired of the fake narratives, tired of people who weren't even there throwing shade on a night that changed hip-hop forever. Gene wasn't perfect. He admits it. I was young, dumb, and full of cum, he says bluntly. But he stands by one thing. He was willing to die for the people he protected. He never froze. He never backed down. And to him, the people who stayed silent have no right to speak now, especially not with jokes.
I was actually in a hotel with a young lady.
And when you heard this information, what was your next actions?
My next actions? After what?
When you heard Biggie died, did you stay in your hotel room? Did you leave out? Did you want to go back to New York?
I actually was trapped in a hotel.
Now I want to ask a question. What do you mean trapped?
It was about probably like 70 or so bloods in the hallway. I couldn't even leave my room.
How'd you get out?
One of the guys.
Why would it be 70 bloods in your hallway after Biggie Smalls died?
Actually, after Big got killed, they was probably looking for more bad boy artists. And I couldn't even leave the room till Gene Dill, the officer had to come get me.
So he was trying to divert that whole conversation and make it seem like, so Gene, why you didn't shoot? Listen to me. it wasn't because Big wasn't my principal. He knew the fact that we had blew the light and we was halfway down the block, crossed the light, and then when the first shot went off, our driver took straight off. I'm screaming at our driver because he was told that somebody was pointing a gun at Big them. He should have just threw the car in reverse. He knew the whole story, my man, because me and him had a conversation on the phone. He the one told me, well, I was in the room with Brandy and Brandy was trying to get me out the room to come to the party. So I felt that was kind of weird. So she said Brandy was calling me trying to get me out the room to come to the party. Well, if you was in the room with Brandy, how's she calling you to try to get you out the room to come to the party? You know what I'm saying? This was going through my mind. But Mase knew the whole situation. Mase knew that it's no way possible that I was able, being sideways in the car, because Puff, when I got in the car, Puff had put his seat back. Now I'm sideways in the car like this, and I'm cussing him out like, yo, man, what the is you doing? Why you got your seat back like this? We hear the shot, bow. Puff put his head down. I go to open the door. Kenny flies, going straight. So he knew the whole story. What I supposed to do? Put my gun out the window and just start shooting like this? When the car had already turned the corner, it came out of parking space. So he knew the story, bruh. He was trying to just divert the attention of, well, why security? So ask security, ask Big security, ask Paul, ask the LAPD. The LAPD officer that was right there, they was right behind. Paul was outside the car. Why didn't they shoot? Why when we turn back around and come down the street, that they way down the block, they coming back when we get back to the car. When we get back to the car, nobody's in Big's car. But Big, Mase knew this. Me and Mase had this conversation. Him and Tone is like this. He knew me and Tone jumped in the car and chased after the guy. We couldn't catch him. He wanted to divert the attention from himself because why didn't you tell Big that these dudes was trying to get at you, bruh? You had that conversation with with Puff, but you ain't had that conversation with Big. Big was your label mate. So people come on and talk, why you ain't shoot? Listen to me, bro. At that time, I was young, dumb, and full of cum. Anybody who really knows me know that they ain't got to worry about nothing if it comes to the point where gunplay has to be a part of my security. I'm not going to hesitate because I never bodyguard anybody that I wasn't willing to lay down my life for.
In the end, Biggie's murder remains unsolved. Questions still hang in the air, like smoke from a gun that was never caught. New theories surface, new voices speak up, but the truth still out of reach. What we do know is that egos, silence, and missteps all played a role in the tragic chain of events. Whether Mase was protecting himself or hiding from a truth he didn't want to face, only he knows. But turning that moment into a joke didn't land. Not with Gene, not with those who were there. Because when someone turns your trauma into a punchline, you don't just laugh it off, you fire back. So now the question is on you. Was Mase just caught in the chaos, doing what he had to survive? Or did he play a bigger role in the events that night, one that he's never fully owned? And most importantly, will we ever get the full truth about what really happened to Biggie Smalls? Because if there's one thing that's certain, this story isn't over, not by a long shot.